Good evening, people. My name is Clifton Davis. I'm a master barber, and I decided I was going to start making YouTube videos about my profession and also some of the issues that some of the customers deal with, or some of the issues that I deal with customers. So I have 3 mistakes clients make when describing a haircut. 3 common mistakes that clients make when describing a haircut. So the first is not being specific about the style and length that they want. So as a master barber, one of the major issues I have come across with a lot of my clients is they're very general when it comes to stating what type of haircut they want. So they would say, oh, I just want it short, or I just want it shorter. It's some of the most common things. A lot of my clients, I just want it shorter. And so I have to, as a master barber, have to go in and say, well, do you want the size to be tapered? And if you do want it tapered, how much taper do you want? Do you want it close? Do you want it medium? Like, give me some kind of idea of a style that you typically get. But just saying I just want it shorter is not giving me a whole lot to go on. And I'm like, okay, I could just give you something, but I want you to be completely satisfied. So, not being specific about a style and length is one of the real common issues as a master barber I deal with. And of course, I always have a follow-up question, like if you say such as, I want a fade, I want a short fade. And then my follow-up question is going to be short. Short for some people can mean, shorter than the top, but it may not necessarily mean like close fade. So, I always have a follow-up question like, well, how short do you want the size? Do you want it bald? Do you want it close? Or do you want it like a medium short? Like just a medium short. And so, so I always deal with that. And in my mind, I be thinking, okay, these people think I can read their mind. I'm really not trying to read their mind. I just want them to give me the information, and after a few times of cutting their hair, I always assume that they would be like, okay, me just saying short is not going to be enough information for him. I need to be a little more specific and say, I want it close, I want it skin, I want a number 3 guard, a number 4 guard, whatever. Okay, so the other issue that I run into as a master barber is when I do my follow-up questions, sometimes clients don't answer my question. So I may say such as, how do you want the neck? Do you want the neck tapered? Do you want it rounded off? Do you want it blocked off? And I don't really get a response. And at that point I'm thinking to myself, like, do they want me to choose? Do they want me to say, I'm just gonna taper it anyway. He may want it blocked, but I'm just gonna taper it. So I'm like, if I ask you a specific question, I feel the client should give me a specific answer. And if you don't know, just say I don't know or I don't care. Because I have had clients and be like, you know what? I don't look at the back, just do whatever. And I appreciate that because at least they listened to what I said, they articulated what I said, and they answered the best what they could. And it was like, I really don't look at it. So you know what? Just do whatever. So that's the second issue. And for me, cutting for 21 years, that's the second issue that I have dealt with some clients. You ask them something specific and I don't know whether they just don't know what to say or they decide not to say anything. Anyway, so number 3 is another issue I run into is when they start saying, I want a haircut like some celebrity, or I want this kind of haircut, or I want a haircut like he got. Or they look at somebody in the room and they say, I want his haircut. And that could be problematic. And the reason why it can be problematic because everybody have a different hair texture. So, it's kind of like some guys may have a really thick hair texture and certain hairstyles look really good on them. And then some guys may have a thinner or finer hair texture, and it's kind of like, okay, I can give you that haircut, but it may not look like the style of the hair, the haircut that he got, because he have a different hair texture. So it's kind of like I try to explain to some of my clients, say, listen, if you're thinning on top and you try to get this undercut style where it's cut really short all the way up here, and then you got this little hair, but it's kind of thin. Somebody who got thick hair, it's gonna look a little bit different than someone who has thin hair on top, and then they try to comb it over to the side, comb it over and back, and they try to put product in it, and so it can be a little bit of a disaster. But the biggest thing is just the hair texture. I can have two people with that's getting the exact same haircut, literally same haircut, everything is the same, but they have two different hair textures. And so at the end of the day, when you look at both haircuts, you're gonna say, okay, it's relatively cut the same, but it looks a little different. And the primary reason is because of the texture. The texture and the density of the hair is what's going to determine how the hair really looks when it's cut. Like, for instance, certain individuals have a really coarse, really thick hair. So they can get like a number 1 on the sides, and their number 1 is not going to really look that short because their hair is so dense. Whereas somebody else, who have a much thinner, finer hair texture, they get a number 1 on the sides, and they damn near look like they bald. It's just the variation is always going to be different. But anyway, so from what I've seen, your best bet, in my opinion, your best bet is just to pull up a picture online and maybe just ask the barber, like, what do you think about this hairstyle, or what do you think about this haircut? And then I have some follow-up questions to say, what, let me just modify this haircut just a little bit where it fits your head shape, it fits your hairstyle, it fits you a little bit better. But we could mostly give you that haircut, but we're gonna do a slight modification. So I feel that for the future, whenever guys or individuals go into a barbershop and just kind of know what barbers are thinking, I'm a master barber. If you have any questions, you can make your comments, below, and I'll try my best to get back with you and kind of let you know, give you some kind of insight from a barber's perspective when he deals with clients. So if you like this information, you want to hear more about this information, please subscribe to my channel, and I'm definitely going to make more videos.